Mis sentimientos al jugar contra Leviatán son sentimientos encontrados, ya que fue mi anterior equipo el año pasado y obviamente comparto mucho con King y Masino. Obviamente quiero ganar, obviamente por el honor, más que no nos juguemos nada, ambos estamos clasificados de playoff.
Who's going to be shutting down the monster player that is Aspas now? Leaf, wait, here's that. Hold on. There's a fuse! There's no shot!
Yo creo que ahora mismo con la integración de Hit le ayudó demasiado, le ayudó mucho en tema experiencia y pegue, más que nada. Pero vienen con gran momento también, vienen ganando todos, igual que nosotros casi.
Now they know where he is. The prey waiting on the other side will fall.
Es solo mirar, o sea, tienen uno de los jugadores que para mí resalta mucho, que es por ejemplo Aspas, que tiene un récord de kill que consiguió, o sea, es un player súper diferenciado, le decimos.
Obviamente tienen que esperar un partidazo, va a ser el clásico de LATAM, obviamente va a ser el clásico de LATAM, y los dos equipos están con buen momento, así que espero que sean partidazos.
Welcome back to VCT Americas and our second match of the day. It is a LATAM showdown between our two teams. We got Crew versus Leviatán, and boy, oh boy, how a year can change things, because here we are talking about Crew, top of the group, Leviatán, but one of the best teams in the league, when last year it was not the case, so it's been really refreshing to see this, huh? What'd you say?
Crew lost every game in the regular season
I
last
remember.
year. Even before that, at lock-in, it was the worst season we've ever seen from that team. But now they've turned it around, and they have a chance to go flawless if they win this final match. And they're facing a team with whom they have so much history and who also is topping their group.
Yeah, this is a banger of a match. There's a lot of pride on the line and first seed on the line, I think, for Lev if they win it. So there's a lot at stake right now. And it would be crazy to see that, you know, top seed LATAM for both sides of the bracket happen.
And remember how important that is, too. That means you're one match away from a slot at Shanghai. There's a world where both LATAM teams have that honor of just playing one game and making it.
Crazy thoughts for sure. What a time to be alive. I love it, baby. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this matchup and dive into Crew. Now, here is the schedule that they have gone through here. And look, in the beginning, you could have made the case, right? Furia, maybe not the strongest.
It's been
Same
like
thing with
ascending
MIBR.
difficulty.
But, yeah, exactly, right? You know, scaling difficulty, if you will. Now we're getting to the final boss. And
yeah, literally.
This is literally Punch-Out, you know, where like he starts out in the beginning, you know, was a little Max like fighting the first guy, and now he's made his way to Mike Tyson. And the question is whether or not Mike Tyson's going to sock him in the face and end the run here. But the thing is honestly, I think both players, both teams are Mike Tyson at this instance. They're both so good. So it's unbelievable where we are right now. And also an update for everyone, too. Crew's win over 100 Thieves officially locked in that #1 seed for the Alpha Group, which means that they're going to be that one playoff spot away from Shanghai. And let's not forget that for Leviatán, a win here also has ramifications, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But for now, Mimi, I mean, this Crew team, everything is clicking right now.
Yeah, this game against 100 Thieves was honestly incredible from this squad. The thing that has impressed me the most is their defensive calling. They're such a tough team to play against in the way that they're proactively taking space while really masking where they're going aggressive. They're using really minimal util, like one sky flash that you normally just think is a reclear, but then entrenching a player on a forward ang, and it makes it so difficult to play against them because you're like playing this game of whack-a-mole, having to reclear all these different angles. And on top of that, I mean, all of their individuals are seemingly hitting right now.
Yeah, it's so impressive to see that they're so aware of like what their win conditions are. They understand that they have this 1-2 punch combo now with Heat being in the roster, with that Kesnet and Heat mix. And what that does, that enables Melzer, that enables other players on the team like Shy to anchor when they actually go to a site, et cetera, et cetera. They're just all a cohesive unit that are firing at all cylinders right now, and they have the utmost confidence.
That's the thing, right? It's like full commitment. Everyone is so bought into the system, so bought into an idea. When they're doing a play, they're always doing it together. The synergy this squad has right now is incredible.
Yeah, and it's only been, well, firstly, it's just been reflected in the standings, but it's also just been reflected in everything that we've been seeing in the server from this squad. But then over toward the Omega group, though, we have Leviatán. Now, they were the squad that was the first to clinch their spot in the playoffs, but they are one step closer from being the kings of their group. But what they need to do is defeat an unbeaten team this stage in Crew. And Baby Bay, that's going to be a tall task to ask from any team, honestly, with the way Crew's been playing.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing for this Lev team has been how Tex and Com have really stepped it up. And that's what's been the major difference from when we see them struggling. You know, I feel like Com and Tex have been playing phenomenal. And even on that Sunset game where Com for the first time was playing Cypher, he played the role so perfectly, and Tex's Gecko is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, it has been so good from those guys in particular. I think against G2, that's where it really shined for me. They were playing Breeze. Their defense had such great ideas of how they're going to use util to deny plants and then set up these floods back in with Tex and Aspas, as you call it, that 1-2 punch. Yeah. They're such a difficult team to deal with right now. I feel like both these squads are in the hottest form we've ever seen from them, and they're now meeting at this like apex of their trajectory.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. And of course, if Leviathan, as we had mentioned before, wants to get that first seed spot, they're going to need to get this win here today, goes without saying, and then they would put 100 Thieves in that second seed. But if they lose here today, 100 Thieves will have the easier road leading to Shanghai. So again, lots on the line here. This is a pressure-filled situation.
And if they lose it, it does go down to tiebreakers, so it kind of depends on how that all goes down. But winning, that just guarantees it for Lev.
Yeah, you want to be able to lock that in right away. But we'll see, though, how this pans out. This is going to be a very difficult matchup here, but it's always exciting to see these teams face off. And honestly, doubly so today, because we get to see Aspas go head-to-head with Kesnet, which I've been waiting for this one, man, and this is going to be a good one.
I think these are the two best players to kind of come out of their respective regions. I don't think anyone can deny that Kesnet has been the most successful Latin American player and Aspas the most successful Brazilian player. We keep saying this, but they're both in incredible form right now. And they are both, I really feel like, the guys who define their team's style.
Yeah, and for me, it's Aspas is Aspas. He's always going to be doing crazy things. He's so consistently at the top for his teams, no matter which it was, Loud, now it's Lev. What impressed me the most for Crew is Kesnet and his mentality shift going into this year. It's not all about him being the star player, but he still is. That's the beautiful thing about it. Yeah. But now he's a better teammate, and you see it flourish with everybody else on his team.
I feel like the similarities are endless, too. They're both known for the Jet, but I feel like they've both been their best when they're on the Rays thus far in this tournament. They're both players who do so much, but seemingly require a lot less resources than other teams. Neither of these teams are really like always indexing into like a double initiate or full building into the duelist, but still these guys, even when they don't have as many tools, are going out there and dropping ridiculous numbers.
They're just playmakers, like through and through. And
two of the best players in our league.
Exactly, and that is the reason why we've been so hyped up for this matchup here. But let's go ahead and get Kesnet's thoughts ahead of this one. We got Elizabeth standing by.
All right, well, hi Kesnet. What are your thoughts about having to face Aspas today?
Creo que es un honor jugar contra el mejor duelista del mundo y vamos a esperar dar el nivel de él.
I think it's an honor to play against the best duelist in the world, and we hope we can perform well against him.
Well, best of luck.
Preds.
All right. Well, we also, have another awesome head-to-head matchup coming into this one. It's the IGLs. You got King and Klaus. Both have been white hot lately as well. So again, there were just so many fun parallels for these players, right? IGLs that are finding their voice, that are continuing to build, that have just found nothing but success. Teams that are playing selfless. I mean, baby, this is like a recipe for success on both sides of the field.
Yeah, it's been crazy, the numbers that King has been able to put up as an IGL. And on the opposite side, I'm impressed with how Klaus has actually been mid-rounding his team.
He stepped into the role.
Yeah, it's like this weird little shift, because I feel like when you look at this matchup before, maybe last year, Klaus had some really big moments for his team, clutching out stuff on Sky and etc. But now King has just stepped up in that fragging role, and Klaus has kind of taken the reins of the strategic approach this year.
Yeah, and I think that's freed up other players to really step up their individual. Melzer was kind of struggling when he was the IGL of this team. He's been having a great stage thus far here in stage one. And I really think for Crew, well, you're going to be looking at Kesnet. Their biggest strength is their mid-rounding. I was already talking about their defense, but on their attack, it's the same thing. They do a great job of getting either Kesnet or sometimes Shy up into these lurk positions and calling around around that. They're a team that's so good at denying info, at finding that weakness, hitting that late sight, and really you got to give so much of that credit to Klaus and how much he stepped up. Now returning to this IGL role after his year off.
Yeah, you wanted to see someone tackle that role head on. Klaus has done exactly that. He's got the pieces that he needs. Everything has been clicking, and it feels like they can't do anything wrong. Baby Bay, I know you had a telestrator for us. You wanted to break down some of Crew's calling here. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I have this nasty round of the last round of Split against 100 Thieves, and Klaus did such a great job mid-rounding here. And just to give some context, earlier in the round, Crew gets pushed off of the A line, and that causes a rotation of Asuna to go into B Heaven, so they have a B stack. Now, what's important here is that Crew know this. They're reading 2 steps ahead, and they make noise here on purpose to bait out this Viper Orb and the Roomba. As soon as they find that out, you're going to see movement here into vents with the Sky Ult from Heat. And just look at the minimap here and the layers that happen. Omen Smoke comes out, Sky Flash, Sky Ult. Now, that opens up the timing for 2 players to be enabled here from the side of Crew. Now, the Viper hears Cryo run off the site and understands that he can take that timing. As well for Kesnet, he was following the Skydog here, gets baited, but here is the most impressive thing. There comes the kill from Shy onto Cryo. That Omen Flash right there, just the poise to be understanding of that, yo, we need to add another layer of utility here. That opens up the entire site, and it's over. That's all she wrote. They close out the half with this. Clean post plant, 4v3, manipulated the rotations. It was so beautiful to watch. And Klaus is, I mean, he's really stepped it up to be doing stuff like this.
You look at that round, there's like 3 pivots within that of the game plan. They're so fast to come up with those alternate ideas. And it's not just the IGLing there. It's also like the heads-up play to instantly have that flash ready. Every single piece of util requires that team to be fully committed to Klaus's game plan, and they do it so well.
Yeah, it has been very impressive to see how this team has built themselves up. I want to know if there's a limit, you know, like where, because if you would have told me Crew's going undefeated, you know, this stage, I would have been like, you lying.
That's what we said about LCQ. That's the beauty in it. It's so amazing to watch. It's crazy.
Yeah, it truly has been. Of course, there's going to be a lot for Leviathan to have to deal with here, but let's go ahead and check in with the in-game leader of Leviathan. We've got King, who's standing by with Elizabeth.
Hi, King. All right, so quick question for you. Well, not that quick, but you're facing 2 of your former teammates today. Does your game plan change when you know that they know you inside and out?
I mean, not that much, honestly, because we have been playing together when we were like kind of rookies. We were like learning a lot of stuff, and both of us has changed a lot, them and us. So, I mean, it's way different. So, nah.
Excited to see it. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Makes a lot of sense to hear that from King because, well, I mean, yes, they did have a history together. It is true. They both have grown exponentially as players over the course of their careers.
But I think that time with Lev for both of these players, and for honestly that whole kind of core, was so formative, right? They started out before the Americas League was a thing, overtaking what used to be Crew, starting to go to global events. You think of in 2022 going to Copenhagen and then going on the run at Champions. I think having that early international experience in their career has really cemented these players, their comfort at playing at this top level. For King as an IGL to be able to be so comfortable on that stage, now into their 2nd year of the Americas League, looking like all-stars.
Yeah, and this is a big game for Shy because I feel like, I mean, I don't want to say that there's bad blood. There's usually never bad blood in scenarios like this, but there's always going to be that piece of you.
There's a lot of trading back and forth between these LATAM teams. But it adds that little extra bit.
That's what I'm saying. There's going to be that piece of you that no matter what, you want this bad. Even though you're qualified, you could probably treat this as a throwaway game and save strats if you want to. I wouldn't put it past teams to do that. But I have a feeling that they're going to do their very best to win this game. Well, because not only that, but they get a point on the line, too.
Of course.
Well, it gives you that opportunity, right, to be able to say, like, you are the king of the LATAM region.
Should have kept me, buddy.
You know, for those 2 teams, right, outside of our Brazilian teams. But it's nice to see, like, you know, these 2 teams not only go toe-to-toe like this, but also do so in a manner where they're fighting for first on each side of their group.
And Shy has just been, no matter what team he's on, just the king of consistency when you think about LATAM players. He's so good as an anchor. His lurks on the attacking side, I feel like, are always on point. He's always consistently putting up numbers for his squad. He's never going to be the flashiest guy, but he will win you rounds. And he is the rock that teams can build around. I think people are talking a lot about Heat coming into this Crew roster, but I think Shy as well, being added to the team, that consistent element, and also being kind of another voice in this squad too, is so important for this run they've been on.
Yeah, and it really shows like how good a player is when I feel like a lot of the times in these matches I've seen, it's been the Heat and Kesnick show, even on defensive side. And people kind of tend to avoid Shy. And sometimes it feels like the rounds that Crew do lose, they're not at Shy's side at all. And he's playing a retake. But to be able to step up to the plate after maybe a team doesn't hit your sight for 4 or 5 rounds and still deliver, that shows what a great player is. Because not everybody can just snap it on like that when it's needed.
Yeah, of course. Well, we did hear from King earlier about what it's like to play against his former teammate. Let's actually get Shy's perspective here as he gets ready for his matchup against Leviatán.
Para mí, Leviatán es un equipo muy fuerte. Fácilmente se podría decir que son uno de los favoritos también a ganar. Y comparto también mucho de lo que dicen los otros equipos de que son equipos a vencer. Y es solo mirar, o sea, tienen uno de los jugadores que para mí resalta mucho, que es por ejemplo Aspas, que tiene un récord de kill que consiguió, o sea, es un player súper diferenciado, le decimos. Y no, obviamente también miro hacia adentro, miro mi equipo y también veo lo mismo, reflejo lo mismo por ejemplo con Kesnick, reflejo lo mismo con lo que es Melzer, lo que es Heat, entonces es un duelo de titanes, siempre lo he dicho, que gana el mejor y nada, que va a ser un espectáculo para todo Valorant América.
It is absolutely awesome to hear Shy talk about it like that. Titans in the region, going up. It's a spectacle. This is it, baby.
How good that has to feel.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Lev made playoffs. They got to top 4 in stage 1 last year, but we didn't see them, you know,
they fizzled
making
away
to international events.
Yeah.
We didn't see Crew up until that Champs run, which even at Champs didn't go super well. It has been such a turnaround for LATAM, and I just can't imagine how great this must feel for the players, but also just for all the Latin American fans. I know when we talk to the people from the LATAM broadcast, like, they're just so excited about both these teams because honestly, in current form, there's a world where like this matchup could be our finals.
Yeah, and also too, something that brings me great joy in this situation is like, you know, of course, you know, Leviatán have a little bit more of a mixed roster, and even Crew had to bring in someone like Heat. But to see, you know, the LATAM players in particular shine in such a way that they are is just so freaking awesome to witness. And of course, folks, you're probably wondering, man, they're really talking a lot up here. Well, there's a reason for that. We're actually a little bit delayed on the stage, have some audio issues. We're going to get it sorted. I think everyone wants this match to be nice and clean right out of the gate, so bear with us for a little while longer, and then we'll jump back into the action as soon as we are ready to do so. We'll, of course, be very quick on our feet with that one there, but we'll continue the conversation here. And well, we don't know much about, you know, where we're going to be playing in the maps. Maybe we'll check out Map Select here, but I actually want to get your thoughts on who wins this match, because this is a hard one, right? It's a hard one to call. I cannot 2-1, but where does it land? That's at least what I think. No matter what, it's 2-1.
I think Lev is going to win. Crew's in great form right now, but I think Leviatán have also had that form element. I think Aspas is incredible right now, and I really like the ideas that they're building around. I think they've really found themselves. In particular, I love how much variety they have in the pace in which they play the attack sides. When they're going for their hard execs, things like that, I think that's really well built up. I also think when they're like embedding Aspas in places, they do that so well. But I think it's a good thing for Crew to lose. I want them to lose this match because I want them to be great. I think that losing here would give them a lot to learn and would build them up for playoffs. I don't want them getting overconfident. You see sometimes they're going for over peaks, they're getting a little too crazy, but they're winning because of the form. But as they start to play better and better teams, if they make it to Shanghai especially, I think having this match to just rein it in and like remember what makes them really good could actually be a good thing for them. So as a Crew fan, I hope Crew lose.
It could kind of be like a double-edged sword, because they could also just to counteract your point, they could also just ride this momentum all the way through. But I agree, it would be so dope to see them lose, just so we could see. No, hear me out. Just so we could see a Lev first seed, and then potential.
Wait, it's actually better for LATAM.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait a minute.
For the whole Latin region, that's exactly what I was going.
Oh man, blood's
cooking. It would be so cool to see them both qualify for Shanghai.
All right. Crew could be even better. we're gonna make LATAM's gonna be amazing. They're making
it's gonna be so. We're bigging it up. All right, guys. Let's actually see where we're gonna be playing. Our coaches are standing by for map select, so let's go ahead and take a listen in.
Welcome to VCT Americas pick ban for Crew versus Leviatan. As decided by coin flip, Crew is Team A, Leviatan is Team B. So, Crew map ban.
We ban bind.
So Crew bans bind. Lev map ban.
We ban split.
Lev bans split. Crew map pick.
Ascent.
Crew pick Ascent. Lev gets side.
We play CT.
Lev picks defense. Lev map pick.
We pick breeze.
Lev pick breeze. Crew side.
We attack.
Crew picks attack. So Crew map ban.
Yeah, we ban sunset.
Crew ban sunset. Lev map ban.
We ban icebox.
Lev ban icebox. So deciding map is Lotus, and Crew gets side.
We attack.
Crew picks attack. All right, good luck, have fun.
All right, so now that we know where we're going, I mean, look, I think the maps may not even matter all that much, considering that both of these teams have just been so strong right now.
I don't know. I'm really excited to watch Ascent. We haven't seen Lev play this map since week 1, where they were in the worst form that we've seen from this.
Shout out to Sage.
That was such a weird match, by the way. The Sage text, that was weird.
I don't even know if I fully hate the Sage, but it was a messy map. I think it was more form-based and a bad game from them. So I'm really interested to see if they're committed to that Sage idea or if they're going to index back into the default jet comp that everyone plays. But I'm also seeing in this 2 jet maps if they go back to normal, which means that our head-to-head for Osbus versus Kesnet should be electric, especially on Breeze.
I'm so glad you talked about Breeze, because this is going to be a banger game. I mean, you got 2 crazy Sentinel players on each team, and then you also have King, who's been playing like a god on smokes, Melzer a god on smokes, and it really comes down on a map like Breeze to the individual mechanics. I feel like you can only do so much as a team.
Yeah, and that is going to be so fascinating because it's like you have these 2 players that are clearly the tips of the spear for their squad. They have that opportunity to do so. So now seeing these, the maps laid out, you guys still feel pretty confident on the predictions here?
I mean, I'm predicting what I think would be best for good and what I think will probably happen. But honestly, this game is so close. Either of these teams could take this home. It means so much for Lev, especially. Reminder, they win this first seed, 1 game away from making it to Shanghai. It would be huge.
All right, well, guys, this is it. We are ready to go. It's going to be a great matchup. I think the Riot Games Arena is stoked for this one. You got Crew taking on Leviathan. Let's go ahead and walk out your teams.
Riot Games Arena. Ustedes y yo sabemos que solo hay un clásico que se escuche para el primer equipo, el invicto Cruvista.
Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard, work hard. Work hard, work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Stand up, let me see you move. Stand up and play. Stand up, let me see you move. Stand up, let me see you move. Oh yeah. Let's do this.
Y en el otro lado te demuestra por qué no puedes ir en contra de la marea. Que se escuche para Leviatán.
It's a battle of the Americas Titans as we have Crew Visa sitting at the top of the league, the top of their group, undefeated, and could very well go for the clean sweep. Meanwhile, on the other side, Leviatán, if they get this win, they get first place out of their group, solidifying Latin American dominance in the Americas region with 2 first-place finishes. What a time. This is going to be great.
You can see the motivation on Crew's face. They're playing against teammates who they had before, players they are very familiar with.
Yeah.
If they win this, Crew goes from winless to flawless in the regular season.
Man.
It's ridiculous.
I can't believe it. Oh, I love this game.
Yeah, the timeline is ridiculous.
It's
great. This is so hype. And honestly, even Kickoff Crew didn't really look that great.
No.
So it was like the turnaround was like this.
Yeah, there was a lot of concerns. I mean, both of these teams coming into this season, we were like, you know, it could be okay.
I mean, the start of Stage 1, it looked dire for Lev. That Cloud9 game was a tragedy, and they've come back, and they have rallied and have looked so good in their last few matches.
But I think it goes to, you know, I'm going to go ahead and give love to Tex and Com on this one, especially Com. Because
those guys have stepped it up.
You know that no one just, you know, beats himself up more than he does. He even publicly did so. Felt like he was playing the worst Valorant he'd ever played.
Yeah.
And you know that he's like, okay, I got to adjust this. It's demon time. I got to just channel this energy and just push forward. And he did just that, alongside with Tex, was getting a lot of criticism from the Latin American community, and that all stepped up. That is impressive. That's crazy, man.
It's tough to do.
Oh, Lordy. Wow, what a time, what a time. But okay, so there's your series layout again. You got Ascent, Breeze, and of course, if necessary, you get Lotus at the end.
Yeah, Ascent is going to be the interesting one. Reminder, the last time we saw Lev play this was week 1 against Cloud9. They lost in a crazy overtime game, and they were running the Sage Raze composition. And I feel like the big question is, do they go back to that, or do they go to the default comp?
And just to piggyback off of that, the problems that I saw with the Sage specifically on the attacking side was Tex kept doing this B main wall every single time that they would go there. And it just got punished by C9 time and time again. So I want to see more creativity out of the Sage if they decide to run it, which we'll find out shortly.
Yeah.
Crew, of course, playing that default
Nothing
comp. Let's
crazy.
see what Lev is locking.
Yeah, really, the story of this one is going to be whether or not Leviatán are going to re-implement the Sage as they did last time, or do they just stick with the fundies, and that is what they're going to do. The fundamentals come through, you're playing the defaults.
That sets our first 2 maps up to be an Ospas versus Kesnet Jet head-to-head straight up. This is going to be exciting. Number 1 seed on the line for Leviatán, or a flawless season for Crew.
Here we go. Riot Games Arena, I'm going to need you to make some noise as we get ready for this one. Let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. Who better to call the action than Uber and Wyatt?
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. Yeah, we've been waiting for this game for quite some time. A bona fide El Clasico and one of the most compelling matches here out of Stage 1. We are here to crown our top team in Americas heading into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, Crew right now, undefeated. It's what Mimi said on the desk, from winless to flawless right now in this season.
What a run.
And a chance to certify that here, to certify themselves as the best team in Americas, Lev with an opportunity to do the same. And of course, an opportunity to guarantee themselves one of those top 2 spots in the playoffs if they get a win here. Avoid being placed in those 4 bottom teams that, if you lose, you're out. But being in the top 2, you get into the double elimination portion of the bracket and are just 1 win away from qualifying to Shanghai. So big stakes for them on the line right now. Will it be them in that top spot? We'll just have to see. And I mean, the stories for this game write themselves, Mitch. I mean, 2 top teams in Americas, the LATAM teams. We've never seen anything like this.
I mean, the last time we saw these 2 face off was in the preseason at a Superdome in Colombia, if I'm not mistaken. And I think at that time we were really struggling to get a read on how Crew, Visa, and Leviatán respectively would walk into Kickoff, let alone Stage 1. And we were not convinced by Lev out of the gates, right? They made their Cloud9 game look like someone turned a mud run into an anime tournament arc. It was messy. It went to overtime. And the desk is harped on it a little bit, right? The Sage setup was unconvincing. Well, now we've had 4 weeks since then to see how Leviatán has developed, and every other aspect of their map pool has looked stellar. Now we get to see the final piece.
Absolutely. This is almost a chance for redemption, really. I mean, this was the map that, like you said, right at the beginning of the season, this was so sloppy from them. Everyone had high expectations for this team, obviously. How could you not? Look at the 5 names right there. You bring in Calm, world champion of last year, Aspas, a guy who's always been in the conversation as the best player in the world. And then in their first match to go out in the way that they did, those expectations were dashed quickly, and there was a lot of frustration from the fans, from the community, and they turned the corner on that so quickly. This is kind of an opportunity on Ascent to really just firmly certify that this is a way different team. And frankly, I do feel like they've already done as much, but just this last little bit of proof would make them undeniable.
And a couple of things that we're going to be looking for on Ascent especially is how these teams behave on defense. Crew, very proactive defenders. They don't give you a lot of room, and they refuse to be put in post-plant scenarios. They tend to win many of their rounds, and they did against 100 Thieves without defusals being required. It's just straight gunplay. Leviatán, on these flashlight comps, right? For example, here, we just see the KO. They will have these re-clear protocols that occur mid-round on defense, and often it's just a couple of players swinging different angles to take space in the map. They're really contact heavy, and that means that the operator might play a huge role in this matchup too.
Lev have displayed such a vast amount of different defensive setups in these past few weeks, and they're starting on that side, the favor side here on Ascent.
Aspas already going to be clearing away that turret's crew. Don't get ahead of themselves at the start of this round. We have an alarm bot actually over in that gelato direction. And Shine's in no hurry to push up against his old squad.
Mazino had put his knife into B main. It didn't get any spots, and now immediately a duel between the 2 stars, Kesnet and Aspas, but it's the latter who's just going to back off, set up in this crossfire here with Mazino in market.
It's the crew special. On pistols or on Nico, head straight up mid and see if you can rattle the cage a little bit. Kesnet primed to receive contact first, but the flash sets Aspas up perfectly. He does have to respond, and Aspas takes a glancing blow and is forced off the angle. King there lingers too long, and Shy also punishes. Aspas flashed out here. Can't play aggressive as he'd like to, and Tex tried to emerge from Cubby. It's back and forth stuff, but the spike is loose in mid, and Klaus emerges straight to market, and Leviatán are down to just 2.
Now Aspas with it all to do in mid.
What? 81 HP. Well, Shy crept up on him through the smoke.
Lovely trading there from Crew. Leviatán, look at the crossfires that they were setting up there on the fly. They had those 2 players in mid. That was Mazino and Aspas, obviously. Aspas and Spawn, Mazino from market to deny that push. But then additionally, on the catwalk, they set up with Tex, and I believe that was King there. But it was that flick from Shy. Oh my God. That just shuts that one down, allows them to put their focus deep into mid. This team, they have so much confidence in each other with the fundamentals right now and their ability to trade, already on display in round 1.
One thing we saw from Leviatán against G2 is that they allowed G2 to find some of these lurk routes up mid on a couple of maps. This time, though, they really lock down the mid part of Ascent.
And Crew here, they open things up in the same way as the pistol. They have Shy with that alarm bot, watching for anyone to be pushing out A. And now prodding up mid, full contact. Meltzer passive on B main. But it's Lev who favored stacking up towards A on this round with the bad buy, the eco. 5 classics, not even a ghost or a sheriff in their hands.
No alarm bot yet for Lev to play off of here, so Com just has to see the barrel of the gun, and it's a right click to the head of Kesnet. There's gonna be more where that came from, and he doesn't have time to pull out the shock dart. Now Crew swarming over this B site now. They'll be checking Boathouse, and they'll find it's clear.
Of course, he'll take any kill you can get when you're on this full eco. Calm already starting things off not too badly on the Sova. Last time they played this, he was on the Viper, and he was struggling his play under a lot of scrutiny early on this season, but now on that comfort role, the agent that we know him to be so fantastic on, as he was at Champions last year when he took it down with EG. And Ascent is just the playground for Sova. So I'm expecting big things here. I'm expecting him to really redeem himself from that initial performance against C9 on Ascent back in week 1.
Aspas hanging out in B long to see if anything presents itself. Lev grouped up here to die to the spike, but Shy has other ideas. That lockdown now unconscious further as he takes ult orbs for himself. And it'll be just Aspas left. Klaus will run afoul of him here, but still is able to come out on top. 4 guns maintained for Crew.
Not too bad for them. Couple Guardians to come into the next round, and those can be pretty obnoxious on Ascent. I've seen some cheeky kills through those walls over on B. They have the high bullet penetration. You know, if someone on defense is playing with the Odin, that Sova, sometimes you can just catch them out and get a freebie with the Guardian. So, you know, Calm gonna have to be apprehensive of that if that ends up being the case. Let's see what Crew have cooked up here as they've got all 5 players in tiles right now, and Aspas has the glass cannon up, looking their way.
Seen QCK go for this play quite frequently. There it is, Kesnitz! Well, he never saw what hit him, but he knows. Oh, he knows.
So fast up mid, our Crew right now, droning out B main. They know that there's no one there. They want to hit the gas on this split right now, but actually slowing things down. Fighting spawn. Great kill from Heat.
As you don't know, there was a veritable landslide of players about to hit him after that knife ticked 3. Aspas has made a reposition here towards market.
And this is something Crew have done so well this season with Klaus's calling, slowing things down in these scrappy situations, baiting out peaks.
It's a B main smoke here coming all the way across from King. Finally, Aspas gets the pick he was looking for, but Com is going to be there with a follow-up. The Odin from Speedway is good for 2. Aspas is going to give ground. The smoke forces him back. Tech's not ready for that from Melza. And now we're in a 2 versus 2. We need to see Lev converge now. 1 through market. They split themselves up as King will go via B main.
That little recon from Klaus was so nice. Aspas is going to be hoping to pick up a rifle here. Would be far better than the op. Of course, Klaus, look at his HP 3 right now, just spraying away with that Odin.
Pushing on Speedway now. Melza takes the contact. Klaus hoping to play off of that, but in no position to do so. The smoke obscured his view. Now has to go double down. It's too much to ask for. Leviatan get themselves on the board.
Scary bonus. Aspas able to recover that. Op, luckily, massive investment early on. No armor, but look, it immediately pays
Got a freebie,
off.
right?
I mean, just a crazy shot on the Kes that he kind of just, you know, doesn't think too hard about that one, doesn't overreact or get too frustrated at that. I mean, he said in the interview with Liz before the game started, he's excited to play against Aspas, the best duelist in the world. It's hard to believe he maybe thinks that too sincerely, but I mean, right there, at least Aspas gets the best of him. Now we're into the first full buy round, and with Klaus having some early success, he's already got the Hunter's Fury online here.
Might be an early pop from Mazino in mid here. Wants to line up tiles and spray down from Shives in this from EG as well. It's a good little crunch. Com takes a ton of damage to inside that nano swarm.
They're gonna hear him falling off right now as well, and they're trying to take the space off the back of it.
He got there. Now Aldro now gonna see 3 plays. He's gonna very quickly have to find his feet, but at least gets rid of Kesnet. Klaus, the Hunter's Fury, finds its mark. King tried to TP out of it to Jen, but it was lined up for that too. Klaus gets away with literal murder, but Aspas is now here to hold the site. Mazzino quickly making his way through, and expeditiously Lever put together a defense here. Another for Mazzino, and it's all on Shy. Tex and Mazzino now, back-to-back over on that A side, when they preempt Shy. Bringing the round for Mazzino.
The speed on the responses from both teams, oh my god, lightning fast. I love Crew's response there on Cat, taking advantage of Com being stuck in the corner. They hear him falling off. They immediately go into that execute, into tree. I mean, it's frankly a miracle that he even gets 1 there, that low of HP, the pressure they were applying to him. But then Klaus with the trade, with the second, the fast scaling into sight. It's so nice from them, but then Mazzino, similarly, the pace getting into tree to pick up that crossfire with Aspas while he was delaying back sight. These two teams already looking very informed, very decisive.
Mazzino knew the pressure would be on, but we move on to round 5 now as Com tries his luck through B main. Kesnet advances despite that spray from the Odin early, and here's your Aldrone down mid.
This Aldrone going to be so important on the rounds where Aspas has picked up that operator. You can see him just fully dodging it there and wants to pick the angle back up. Full 5 sheriffs for Crew.
There we go. Aspas is rotating over, but in the meantime, it's getting hot and heavy through tree. Mazzino buys a little bit of space here with that fragment, and Tex chooses his time perfectly. Comes out of market, but all of crew now grouping up here. They want to try and force themselves into tree. But Mazzino has the one-way. Kesnit kneecaps, and he doesn't fare much better.
And I think someone else might be playing on Mazzino's PC. I'm not exactly sure what happened in these last few weeks because this is not the guy that we saw in Kickoff, not the guy we saw in week 1. He is absolutely electric. Since that NRG game, he's just been on a totally different level. When you have him, Aspas, and King, 3 elite players, putting up the numbers that they have, I mean, you question how this team can be stopped. He's leveled up so much. So impressive. 4 ults now in play for Leviatán. Still this operator for Aspas, and they have not had an answer for it yet.
In the meantime, Crew's star player is conspicuously absent over these first 5 rounds. That's a nice look.
And they're going to have to drone up mid again to try and clear out that operator if it is there. They break the alarm bot early, which is pretty nice. And now they're going to slow things down a bit. Retain this mid control. Try and work up towards Cat. Draw some attention A here. And then work back into a B split, it looks like.
Now command for Heat. Again, trying to signal heavy pressure over towards Tree, but in fact it comes through market. Mazzino goes whites to it. Aspas was waiting for them and gobbles them up. Down to 3 for Crew. Mazzino takes another stunning timing. And he was not ready for it. Aspas is about to get busy though. Proper busy. Shy here trying to force him off the angle. He will prevail. As Mazzino wants to inch forward to try and cover for Aspas being forced back, and they've seen the spike go loose. It's all Shy. He's moved up to Logs now on a 1 versus 2, and he can't get out. It's a hail of bullets from Com that silences him.
I mean, the individual form right now from Lev looks absolutely outrageous, but this operator is dominating the map. They have not found an answer for it yet. Aspas playing a really unconventional position on that round. Klaus obviously not going to be looking up there. So he gets an absolute freebie. And just look at Mazzino.
Let's go. Apple again.
Com's getting hyped up as well.
Buenos Aires popping off. I glossed over it, Wyatt, but Kesnit, they've not been able to get their jet into the game, have Crew.
Oh, not quite yet. Just waiting for him to come online. He's going to pop the knives here. Again, 5 sheriffs on this save round for Crew. Because it's looking to be the hero. He's got just a bit of armor left. Maybe this is where he heats up. This is where he really gets into the game.
They're going to have Tex and Com waiting on this. Com in a position to devastate with the Odin, but it already has taken a bunch of damage early. Can say the same for Melza, though. And Tex here will swing that. Does spot Kesnit, knows the knives are out and about. Melza lit up, dangerous! But he doesn't take any damage, still at 22. This could be a problem, though.
Now forced out our Crew. Some of those footsteps heard as they run away. Melzer just 1 HP, but it's all just a fake. They just tried to make the footstep sounds to get away, and now some pressure on A Cat. Look, guys, we're going A, we swear. And now we're working back into this B hit, but steadfast are Com and Tex. Lev have not bought this at all.
Kesnit trying to tease someone out of position. That is a beautiful little light up there. Nicely done by Cloud, and Kesnit has to capitalize. Knives to the gut. Com capitulates. And now through from CT very quickly. Lever going so proactive as always. And Mazzino's going to find Shy. Now they got into the B site. Melzer at just 1 point of health is going to have to find a way to be traded at best. Great knife. All the info you need to see there. King wants to move up, but the fragment bounces off his weapon, and they're going to have to go it another way. Klaus expecting action still from Speedway, and he gets it. Aspas takes a shot. Knives are out. He's going to start to close the gap here. Heat probing through the smoke, finds King. And Mazzino for 3. Oh my goodness, Aspas finally emerges.
I mean, he does it all. Up, knives in the round to close things out, and Kesnit opened it up so beautifully as well, with 2 kills with the daggers of his own. I mean, statistically, the 2 best duelists right now in Americas, and it's not even close. The 2 statistically best duelists right now in the world of any league on the globe, and of any VCT league last year as well. Even better than, I mean, just unbelievable. Besting both of their own stats from last year. Any other player in the game last year, any other player in the game this year is these 2 guys, Aspas and Kesnit. unreal players right now.
They are that good, Wyatt. Timeout here for Crew. They're going to take a moment. I've got to say that presence of mind for Mazzino, I think, to turn his head to the late reflank through market. He knew exactly what Lev were walking into in that retake attempt. Kesnit's heroics at the start of the round, mind you, on a thrifty, weren't quite enough to open it up. But that is what you should expect from these two teams. It's this level that they're playing on, vying for the title, the Titans of the Americas region.
Crew now on the timeout. They're yet to win any gun rounds. They took that pistol, converted the initial anti-eco, so they've got 2 on the board, which frankly, not bad already for Ascent. 7 rounds in, but they're gonna at least, very least, need 1 more, and then to win the pistol again. But of course, hoping for more than that. They've got the full buy now on this timeout, surely discussing what they want to do with the lockdown. They have Melser's ultimate as well, maybe do some kind of cheeky pinch on a site exec where he TPs behind. Gonna be B main here. Taken early by Crew. Odin spam not going to really come through, do anything of significance. Now things are gonna slow down in the mid round.
Yeah, they have an extra player, Crew, over towards the A side of the map here. Melser joining Shard, as he was pretty safe in how he wanted to play around that one way, but now he'd be looking for an opportunity. Sees the dry swing from King. Followed up by a refresh of the one way, and Shard will just check any potential advance that might have been intended for Wine.
And off that noise, you can see Ospas, who's rotated up to heaven with the operator to try and fight main.
Most of Lev, though, in retake positions behind that smoking tree, but Aspas takes first contact. Unperturbed for now about the lockdown. And there's more where that came from. It's going to be Com now with the Hunter's Fury. Cross map, no less, to A main. Door's going to come down, and now Aspas can inch back into the site.
Klaus with an Odin, 1 flash in the hands of Heat, but he's playing in a flank position. He has the opportunity to be the man to win the round here.
Danger! Danger! Heat with 2! Mazzino now knows, and is able to undo him. Crew now with 2 players to work with in the post plant. They do not have heaven control. Klaus in hell with the Odin. Down to 70. Kesnit also has seen better days. This is ugly. Kesnit has to go large. But it's Aspas who remains in charge.
Aspas again, 2 rounds in a row now, shutting things down at the very end. Heat did what he could with that jump peek onto Cat going awry for Lev. But the operator just, Aspas' speed getting into the A site, that initial rotate, picking up that angle here. Just so fast on it. Again, it's this decisiveness from Lev. They're really trusting the calls here right now. And they're moving with such a pace. The Crew in some of these rounds, they are struggling to keep up.
And Aspas is punishing that raw contact from Melser as he walked through his own smoke to try and get onto A. Perhaps they're putting too much stock in that lockdown they had in place.
Definitely. Crew are going to have another buy up here, though. Klaus 1 orb away from the ultimate. Perhaps they try to pick that up over an A main where they've got control right now. But it's B main, controlled by Lev. Aspas pushing up with the operator here.
There's a big variation this time from Crew to have that embedded A main presence. See what it amounts to. As the spike is slowly headed in that direction. Very limited mid presence right now for Crew. They're not fighting for it.
They've cut noise here. Drone to re-clear towards Cat, and the smoke is down. And they're gonna hit the gas off of it, but King with the first.
Yeah, Kesnit trying to make his way through with a dash, but gets caught, and King is too clean with it. Another? No, Klaus able to bring him down, but he's traded instantly. Now at least you have a player in Melser advanced into the site, but the spike is loose just outside of A main.
Knife gonna get that information as well. At this point, what can Melser and Shy do? Lev are just gonna take their time. They don't need to overpeak or take a single fight here. Can just play for this 4v2 retake and should be able to do it with ease.
Saving hardly feels like an option now when you have Melser
30 seconds left.
Stranded inside A.
Was just waiting for that smoke cycle to put it over doors so they can safely retrieve the spike. You have to imagine when they tap here, Lev are going to be inclined to go, but actually no, with the time this low, they really don't need to. They can wait this out a little bit. The shock dart almost connecting.
10 seconds left.
Melser at 31, and he's lit. Com should be a matter of course for him to bring that kill down, but they're good pass Shy. Okay, Aspas able to recover there. A couple of extra guns given up by Lev than they otherwise would have liked, considering the mid-round situation.
But at this point, look at their economy. It is at that point where it's getting essentially out of control. They should be able to buy up for the rest of this half. Aspas, I mean, is this the same off he's had since round 3? I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, he only has 3 deaths. They've just not been able to deal with this man at all. Trying to mix things up with that A hit, but not paying off for Crew here.
Oh yeah. The energy at a premium here for Leviatán. And they are very Crew-esquely also preventing these post plants for the most part. They are really anchoring and holding their spots on these sites.
And at some point here, you have to imagine the Crew are going to be able to get a third just by stacking up these ultimates. They've got the null command in the hands of Heat. Klaus still holding onto this Hunter's Fury right now. You would think that that would be enough to be able to finally convert a gun round, but at this point, 0 momentum. I'm still a bit worried about their ability to do so.
2 rounds at A, Crew get nothing from them, and this one might go a similar way. He brought down aside that null command, and they're going to attempt to bring him back. Klaus presumably has a safe angle to do it. Kesnet, though, elsewhere. Okay, he's able to take Tex down. Pushing up here inside B main. Shy, some wayward shots make him wary.
And they might not have been even, been able to get that res onto Heat if it weren't for Klaus having a Guardian, being able to spam back through the wall at Calm. If that wasn't the case, Calm could have just reloaded and kept going, and Heat almost surely would have died. So just a small little purchase there making the difference. Not even intended. My man just doesn't have enough money, but it pays off.
That shock dart means Lev don't know if Crew are in yet, but they're definitely going to know about it now. Mazzino takes contact moving up stairway, but yep, Con with 18 HP. That molly was always going to do him in. Shy loves being here at Logs, but doesn't really have a swing. At least able to find Mazzino on the trade. Melsa now going to come back up speed where the spike is still dropped in B main, so we will see Crew continue to fight here. But it's just King. Shy keep himself out of line. As Sights pops up. And this time, the mole whacks you.
So patient from Shy there. One of the players that I look at when I'm viewing a late round situation and I see Shy is alive, I can't help but kind of be favored towards him. That is just the kind of environment, the situations that he really does thrive in, and why he's been such a great addition to this Crew squad. Of course, was on lead for the longest time, Shy. Opted to leave this year, join Crew. Typically, I mean, outside of that LCQ run, you're looking at them as the second best team from LATAM. And what an addition he's been.
3 suppressed. Well, that was illuminating. 3 players there spotted over towards A. This will slow Crew up once more. Not necessarily the style they'd like to go for. Now they'll scout out mid with that recon. Aspas stays shy of it.
Over towards the B site, Calm actually used his drone in main, and you can see both him and King have pushed up here, holding this little double face together where Calm's going to take contact and King can swing off of him. And it looks like Crew are going to walk right into this, so things could get very dangerous here.
Calm holding the off angle, licking his lips in anticipation for that one. Gives away the game about the Odin, and they baited him in with
tragedy.
With the alarm bot.
Absolute tragedy, and now it's King with all to do here at Logs.
Holds his ground, good trigger discipline, that's 2. And it is a 2 and done at the very least. Here come Lev now, starting to encroach. Kesnet, though, has pushed his way forward. He's punished for it.
Oh, he's just doing way too much there. It's a 3v3, and Klaus has the Hunter's Fury online.
Mazzino, how to win that out? That is raw! And Aspas claims Klaus. And Lev get themselves yet another one. That felt like old school Kesnet, right?
I was about to say, yeah, that feels like a Crew of old, and seeing those moments where Kesnet feels like he has to do everything and put the team on his back in a situation like that, but realistically, it's a 3v3. It's just unnecessary. He doesn't even have a dash online. That could have justified it, but so unlucky, things just kind of being thrown away. And it started with an easy kill, that mishap from Calm. Really tragic for Crew. They've got to feel frustrated.
So much, boys. I knew this guy just spawned.
I mean, and Calm is just having a great time here, playing his favorite agent on Ascent. A great map for it.
Get out of my way.
Another crunch here, potentially. Com has the Odin. They were looking for something in tiles. They don't find it. Here's the Hunter's Fury from Klaus. Checks back sight, sees nothing. We'll find Aspas there in market. The aforementioned who gets brought down by the knife. This time Kesnet says, I've got better weaponry to make this deep dive. And B is all open.
Great entry from him, but look at this. Drone to re-clear B main now. This is going to be a huge brawl here late in the round.
It's going to give up the game. They're going to know Lever coming. Here comes Mazzino. Flash around the corner. Does he know there's 3 though? How could you? Tex finds another. Shy gives himself away. And now the lockdown is going to be an issue. Shy eventually gets brought down. And Com makes it very clear that he wanted Klaus more than dead. Kesnet will have to play outside of this for now. Spike already down, of course. Kesnet back to the side. Doesn't get spotted on the cross, apparently. Saw a TP there by King over towards Speedway. Wants to try and find the angle. Kesnet is running low on Silverware. He would have had to have been a headshot to clean it up.
Look at those little baits from King just jiggling out to get those limited knives out of Kesnet's hands. That's so nicely played. TPs as well, just to get to calm so they can play together, trade each other out if Kesnet did happen to get that first. So nicely played here.
An odd situation to see here in B main.
I mean, bizarre. Maybe you'd see that, 10 seconds into the round. Even that, you're not going to see 3 people in the corner. That is bizarre. Lev firmly in control. Fantastic half.
So much talk about Leviatan's road here through stage 1, but I'm curious to hear what they think. Let's get a quick word from Mazzino and hear about how he feels Leviatan has progressed this stage.
Yo creo que obviamente estoy muy feliz de cómo hemos evolucionado como equipo y como dije anteriormente que encontramos como nuestra forma de jugar, nuestra como identidad y estamos como congeniando cada vez más. Y algo malo que diría yo es que como intentar que no se pierda esa como conexión que tenemos entre nosotros, que a veces como sucede que se pierde.
Something we heard a lot from Leviatan is that they all sort of kind of had to come together and decide how they would play as a team. They brought different ideas, but ultimately it was a clean slate. And we saw them easing into this, right? That game against, C9, for example, that sort of made us question whether this was the super team they were rumored to be.
Absolutely, and it was honestly jarring when suddenly a week or two after you're looking at the team, it's like, wait, these were the guys who lost to C9?
Yeah, the Sentinels game, right? That was the very next match for them.
And then the one against NRG where they just absolutely blew them out. Levar just looking incredible.
Is that the Quebec boys down there?
I think it was. And
all right.
Again, we talked about him earlier, but I have to draw more attention to Mazzino at this point. He has just been the guy that stepped it up. 17 for 8 right now on the KO.
This is why.
It is incredible. This guy has elevated his game so much for this team in the past few weeks. It's him, Aspas, and King. Those 3 that have just been at an elite level, and Tex and Com just doing what they need to do in those support roles. They haven't had to be the big-time fraggers for this team. You definitely don't need to be when Aspas is going plus 40 in every series. Just give him a little bit of setup, guys. You'll be fine. But here we are, 9-3, Crew swapping to defense, must-win pistol round.
All right, let's see this proactive defense now in action. Because Leviatan have set quite the pace for this Ascent game.
Targets destroyed.
Into mid we go for Leviatan. There will be an alarm bot that was invested in by Shy. Tex did not do so on their pistol on defense.
And instantly that turret that watches B main, broken by Crew. Alarm bot in mid, broken by Lev. So both teams a little bit starved for info at this point in the round, and re-clearing B main is what Leviatan are going to opt to do with this drone, hoping to draw rotates attention towards the A side going through tree.
He's getting it. Klaus is inching his way down grass here. So there are 3 players for Crew posted up on this A side of the map. And really, just Kesnet here to take this contact. He attempts to dash away now back into Boathouse as the reinforcements have to be called. Blow the Horde of Gondor, brother. Nicely done. He eats Mazzino all on his own. Just good for the one as Aspas is able to answer. A couple players get lit up by the recon there and Klaus will capitalize.
Now Com and main, perfect flash should be dealt with easily. 4-on-2 now, both players back sight.
Back to back, it's King and Aspas, as it always has been. Another beauty from Aspas here, and King wants to get involved, and he does! How have they turned this around? Klaus has to salvage!
Joking! There's just no way.
Bro, you better get up early in the morning if you want to take a swing at these 2.
There is just No way. I remember all the way back last year at the beginning of the season, there were so many players early on. They were like, this King guy, he's the best player in the world. He's owning everybody. And this year, Aspas owning everybody. And King is just, and has always been for Lev, an absolute star. But this is just unreasonable. This is just outrageous.
Yeah, Aspas, look, listen. He's more like that Y5 kind of guy, you know, ain't trying to reach over. But this is backbreaking for Crew. Look at this score.
And they're taking a risk here, a bit of a risk. It's 3 sheriffs that they've got here. Shy, Kesnet, Heat. A couple shocks for Klaus. That recon's still available. They're hoping to swing things back with some kind of miracle headshot, some kind of big individual play, which obviously that's what Crew have been known for this entire season. You can never doubt them on the mechanics front.
Lev, though, might be intending to end A in some way or shape here. Based on where that spike has been left in. Klaus, for some reason, pauses on this recon.
Things gonna slow down here just a bit. That recon's gonna go into main and gets a solid amount of information there for the Crew side. Spotted out 2 players, I believe. And that's actually gonna trigger Melser sending a smoke all the way over to B main. Kesnet's gonna rotate into the site there as well. 3 players now, and a deep knife is sent from Mazzino towards A. And it looked like they wanted to use it as a fake, but now they're going to use it to actually rotate back.
He may have seen everything there that he needed to. Recon over at 8 here, and they're trying to buy a little bit of time. Again, Melser wants to slow the attackers down, but King, unbothered, moisturized, flourishing in his lane. 0 point there. It should have been quite telling now for Crew, as they don't have great anchor positions whatsoever, and Kesnet was punished as soon as he turned up in heaven. Klaus can be forced away. And how are Crew going to unravel this?
There's just no way at this point. They're going to be hoping to do some damage here. At best, Lev certainly going to be going to 11 on Crew's map pick, no less. And Lev only playing it once this season, losing a sloppy game to Cloud9.
Com, happy to take that challenge. He already had the shock loosed, as it were. Recon here as well could be refreshed, but the door is still closed. Crew here look a little sluggish as well. So only hit left, and he'd like to go down to the spike ideally and not seed over yet another ult orb, as Aspas already has 4 to his name here. And he'll get what he wanted at the very least.
Aspas gonna have that Vandal to bring into the next round. Lev on the verge of getting 12, so close. They can taste a victory on Crew's map pick here.
Winning that pistol, absolutely devastating.
And what's even more devastating is the fact that Crew could only win 1 gun round on the entire first half. I mean, that's what's got them into this mess right now. Their defense is going to have to be just as good as Lev's, and maybe a tad bit better if they want to pull off one of the best comebacks we've ever seen.
Okay, Crew throw that one way out towards A main that's circumvented instantly by King. He wants that info. Lev's starting to get a little bit of step to them now. A little hungry to close this, I'm sure.
Lev went ahead and, oh my god, Tex just taps down Shy and B main. Does Kesnet face? He wants to trade it out, but Tex is not going to give him an opportunity. And right now, Lev are so aware that mid is pretty free. They sent a recon lower mid, and they had a knife into market. Neither got a single tag, so Aspas pushes up. Going to be holding this angle now. Looking to take a duel.
Plays off the angle, waits for the flash. Here we go! And he's just better! Klaus, though, raises the ante, completely shutting down that presence here for Lev through the middle part of the map. Now it's a little awkward for Mazzino, unsure if he should be trending elsewhere. He's about to get some action, though, coming out from Catwalk. And Mels is too good.
Spike down mid.
Well done here from Crew on the verge of closing things out. They've got the spike down. Good rotations there on the defense, picking up those angles that they knew would be exposed. With Shy down, that turret and main offline. They had a feeling Tex might try to take advantage of it, but King with a shot right now.
Awkward. Very awkward. But there it is. Crew get themselves their 2nd gun round on this map and extend themselves a lifeline to make something happen of this defense half.
Goes without saying how much needed, how necessary that was for the Crew side. Not an ounce of momentum for these guys whatsoever. have to get into this game mentally, have to start heating up, feeling themselves with the aim as well, which has never been lacking this entire season, but we have seen Lev dominating them on that front from round 3 onward. It's been Mazzino and Ospas in control of the mechanics game here. Early knives exchanged over on A, nothing spotted for either side. King TP is across, gaining some control on this part of the map, and it's on the B side where Crew are going to gain their control.
There might be a play here through tree this time around for Leviatán. It is aggressive take of the extremity! And Tex! Faster on the 6-shooter!
And that might just be the nail in the coffin. Heat here on the A site. Gonna have to go crazy. Melser as well. Maybe they can set up some kind of crossfire. They're trying to do as much with Heat focusing his attention here on that A main side, and Melser all the way playing backside, back behind Dice. They're gonna have to make an absolute miracle happen. Tex really putting the nail in the coffin there.
Might be about Shy, making something happen in mid. But for now, it's Leviatán making their way through. They do line up the KO with their knives. Mazzino at the 4 here. Some span through the water fight. Keeper Bells already fell down, and Crew are getting toppled. Leviatán take themselves to match point, facing down limited resistance.
The second Crew went around, the second there was just the smallest drop of hope for the team, just dashed away immediately. Tex locking down that flank. They've taken a timeout now, but I mean, does too little, too late do enough to describe this situation right now for Crew?
I mean, especially when you're looking at stuff like this, there's the expectation from Leviatán that Crew will try and overload an extremity. Get some information, something. And they're ready for it.
I feel like you can just even see on Kesnet's face there. I mean, you can just see, well, that really tells the story of the game so far.
Yeah, you gotta earn his respect.
The speed at which Ospas began to lounge, but on Kesnet's face, I feel like you could almost see it wasn't a frustration, it was just like, yep,
rueful.
Seems about right. That's how it's been going so far. And sometimes with these games, you know, when you get washed, you just gotta go, you gotta just take it on the chin, go backstage. All right, we just gotta go from here, win 2 in a row, try and completely erase that one from your memory. Sometimes what can you do? I mean, we're just in unreal form on this map. You gotta hit the mental reset. They're gonna have a couple Stingers, couple Vandals, a Sheriff into this final round. Maybe they can win this out, but I'm nowhere close to believing, Mitch. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm far away from believing.
Crew here looking for a little bit of magic. They say it seeps out of the cobblestones here at the Riot Games Arena. They're gonna have to hope to harness it. Mazzino there, a nice cross map. Check Wine, perhaps. Doesn't look like Melser was clipped by that at all.
And Ospas, why not? Pops the knives, has his ult, has the judge in hands. And that's just obnoxious. The recon goes outside of B and does get broken, so, you know, aware that there could be at least one there. Oftentimes you're going to think it's just going to be that KJ, right? Not necessarily getting significant info on that at all. But now with this drone and the footsteps up B main, you're going to see Kesnet. He was backside A. He's going to fall off and start rotating to B. And it's all Lev's plan. In the meantime, all distraction from Calm with that Sova util so they could gather up outside A.
King and Com know Crew don't have the economy to ever get to that Odin stage, so they can be a little flippant with those forays into B, trying to sell that fake. We're grouped up in A main now. The Wine is checked. And we're about to get off to the races, folks.
And Tex will be lit. One off his ult orb. He just picked it up. The lockdown is going to be in play as well.
Melser, token attempt to buy a little bit of time, and it does slow Leviatán down. As we speak, Com is making his way down Cat, so there is the potential for a late pinch for him. And the lockdown now to be played off of. Oh, that's awkward! He's able to find him. The Stinger actually finds its mark there in an advantage situation. Kesnet stuck in the left-hand corner, though. Can't do anything about Mazzino, and the knives are now out. 3 players to work with for Crew now, and Klaus has already tried to get up towards Heaven. Spotted out by the recon. Unbothered by this, though, as he has the superior weaponry, no doubt about it. Heat is so low, Wyatt.
And the only Vandal in play as well.
Here they come from top side, the judge. Or is it Jury? An executioner for Aspas is the aim. And Crew taking his sweet time now, falling one by one, and my goodness! I call it a compelling matchup. On paper, it's true. But when the rubber hit the road, Leviatan, by far, the superior roster on Ascent.
Aspas and Mizzino just in stylish fashion make it look easy. How many, I mean, I can't count on both hands how many rounds those two just straight up won for their team. Aspas's operator on defense, Crew could never find an answer for it. He was getting one damn near every round, it felt like. When they pushed into Mizzino, his anchoring always good for 2, minimum 3, 4. I mean, what a performance there.
There were moments for Crew to get into the game, but it did take about 6 rounds for Kesnit to get activated, right? That's tough stuff here. I'm curious, as we step away and hear from DB and the desk, what their thoughts are on how to diagnose this Crew looks a little bit green around the gills.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.